Hi, everybody. For those of you actually watching and not listening, we are in the same room.
Yes, we are in the same room. It was about time, man. It only took a couple of years, but we finally made it happen. But now we're on opposite sides of the table, so it's all good.
Same table, opposite sides. So this is a first for us in 2 years. This is the first time we've been in the same room doing the same podcast. I'm so excited.
It was bound to happen.
I agree. So it's Super Bowl time. It is Super Bowl time. I'm Sean Kaus.
I'm Tony James.
And we are your betting strategy brothers. Just a quick reminder, we're teachers by trade. We're here to help you. We don't guarantee any predictions. We're just here to teach, give you a little betting advice. Hopefully you pick up something good, or you say, screw you, you suck, and go the other way. Either way, we're here to help. We're trying to help. That's what we love to do.
Yeah, and we just want, over the past, 21 weeks now, it's been, trying to give you tips, trying to help you out, give you some certain strategies, anything that helps you out. Me, I like the, don't split my parlays, keep the morning parlay, keep the afternoon, or keep a Saturday, keep a Sunday. That's one thing I do. But now we're down to the last game.
Yep.
There's only one game left. So
there's only one thing.
There's no splitting anything. It's just here it is. And we're here to talk about it, and I'm sure you have some good bets up your sleeve there.
Yeah, there's still some strategies that you're going to bring into this game. I already know.
Mm-hmm.
Some things you always like to bet and stay that way. So I know that. I mean, we still have our same strategies and stuff like that. So along with betting,
mm-hmm.
we love drinking.
I like drinking.
What are you drinking today, Tom?
I'm drinking. So my beautiful bride stopped at Evans on the way home today. She's like, "Do you want some Evans beer?" And I said, "Yes, please." And so I'm drinking it's like the Kraken, but it's called the Krahoppen. And it's very good. And you know what? We might have to hurry up and do this so I can have another.
Well, I'll tell you what. One of the greatest things about being in the same room, being out in Cali with you, is that I get to try some of your beers that you talk about every week.
100%.
I've had some before, but this week it's not. Earlier I was drinking some Evans with you, but now you gave me the Coronado Brewing Company Weekend Vibes.
Yeah,
because we got the Weekend Vibes being together, and man,
and I got a 3-day weekend this weekend, which is absolutely off the chain, as the kids say.
Well. To be here with you, I've had a 5-day weekend.
Heck yeah, let's do it.
So, and there's nothing better than being with your good friends and having some beer and talking about betting.
I'm in. Let's do it.
All right.
I think we have a couple to talk about from last week. I know we did a lot of prop bets, but I think you bet on the Pro Bowl.
Oh yeah, the two-hand touch game.
Yeah,
I bet on that.
Disaster.
I hit the over way big time. I knew that was going over.
Yeah, I bet on the Pacific Division to win in the NHL All-Star game, and they were all hammered, and like literally hammered. Like Pete DeBoer came out after the game and said, "I don't really know what was happening because it was a long night last night." So that's pretty awesome in your home. You're hosting the All-Star game and you just get drunk. But you know what? It was $25. I'm happy. It was fun. It was fun to watch, man. I've watched it before. I hadn't watched it in like 3 or 4 years. I was entertained.
Yeah,
I had a good time. I enjoyed it.
I unfortunately did not get to watch that. I didn't even get to watch much of Pro Bowl. Everything I saw was highlights. But the one thing good for me is just because we're really good friends, and just like we're basically brothers, and just like brothers, we have a little bit of competition. So I'm happy to say that when my $20 won me 18 from last week, and your $25 lost too, I'm now back ahead of you.
All right. Well, that might change this week. We don't know, but I do have to tell you that last week in the All-Star game, Tyreek Hill of the Chiefs won the broadcast because they put him on camera, and he did one of those and chug with the beers on camera. It was pretty epic.
Awesome.
He's excused because it was Bud Light, so he gets a hall pass for that though, because it's very impressive. So but yeah, you're up what? You got 15-33, I have 15-25, so we're still neck and neck. But this is the week, man. This is the week where I don't know about you, but one of my strategies for Super Bowl is I increase my bets.
Yeah.
There's one game I'm gonna put more money on it.
especially when you're up the way we are.
Yep.
It's not if we were losing every week and down to our final $100, then we're not going to do anything more.
Yeah, exactly.
But like we've said many times in the show, we're trying to do this show in an hour, so we're not going to have time to do all of our bets.
Yeah, for sure.
My wife yells at me when we're at Super Bowl parties because I'm not you're being antisocial. No, I'm on my phone betting every 2 seconds.
Heck yes.
It's just as much as I can, I'm betting on it. Especially when I'm up this much, I'm going to bet a lot on it because it is the last game. We do carry into hockey and basketball and baseball. And we do carry in, and we're going to try to do more of that on the show this year, putting out more of, we kind of stopped. We threw some things out on Twitter and stuff like that, but we kind of stopped last year with football. When football was done, we kind of stopped recording, but this year we've already talked about keeping it going here and there a little bit. So that'll carry over, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm excited about the Suns. I know there's still 30 games left, but I'm excited about the Suns and what they're going to do this season. They just look incredible. So yeah.
Well, I took them to win the division, to win the West, and to win it all.
Yeah,
preseason. So
I think it's solid.
I'm liking those bets. Hey, my Joe Burrow bet came in for comeback player of the year so I'm excited about that. So that we've talked about how doing those preseason bets ties your money up for a long time, and it kind of sucks. But when it hits, you're like, see, I told you 12,000 years ago.
Oh yeah,
this is going to happen. So it is nice.
Yeah,
all right.
For sure.
So the Super Bowl time, normally when we do this, we talk about how these are the bets we want, and this is why. And now since there's only one game, there's only one thing to talk about. So now we take sides, and maybe not necessarily a rooting side, could not be, but you took Cincinnati this week. I took the Rams. Before we get into our bets, we're going to talk about how they can win the game. So why don't you start with Cincinnati?
All right. So Cincinnati can win this game. I put down 5 points to them to win the game. First off, I don't think anybody thought Cincinnati would be here. I think people aren't surprised the Rams are here. Like they had a tough road to get through. But I don't think anybody's really surprised. Like if you would have said at the beginning of the season, he's like, yeah, you know what? The Rams are going to be there. People have been like, yeah, you're probably right.
Well, okay. And I agree with you. But usually when a team goes all in like the Rams, the more surprising thing is that they did get there. Because usually when teams go all in, they don't get there. Oh, they went all in to get the Super Bowl and they didn't make it. Like every year you have that team where they went out and got OBJ, they got Von Miller, they got this and that. They didn't even make it to the Super Bowl. Like how many times have we had? Very rarely, I think, does it happen where they actually do that and get there. So I think that's more surprising. But when you look at it, the Rams preseason, they had a 10% chance to make a Super Bowl, and the Bengals had a 0.4% chance.
Well, yeah, so it's like they had a chance.
Yeah.
But they're like, so you're telling me there's a chance? I think Cincinnati's definitely playing with house money here. But they're a good football team. They are a good football team. And look at the teams. They hosted a playoff game, but they beat a pretty decent Vegas team. They beat a Tennessee team that was the best team in the conference, and then they beat a Kansas City team which was as hot as anybody at the time. So they are definitely on a run. I'm curious to see how it works out with the 2 weeks in between games. Sometimes that can hurt a team. They have momentum going, and when you're playing week after week after week after week, it's like, oh, okay, well, you get up for the. And now last week they didn't have a game, so I'm interested to see how that affects them. Here's what I think they have to do to win the game. Number one, they have to keep the Rams off the field. They just have to. That Rams offense is too good, and it strikes quick. They need to keep them off the field as long as they can. That means that number two, they need to run the ball. They need to get Mixon involved and just run the football. And this is one of those games that we talked about in the past where teams that run the ball may not see the return in the first quarter, may not see the return in the second quarter. And I think we talked a lot about with Tennessee. But in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, they see the returns, they wear the other team down, and they're able to do what they want with the ball. That's what Cincinnati needs to do. They also need to get a big game from Tyler Boyd. Look, Higgins and Chase are going to be given the first and second assignments by the Rams defense. Boyd needs to step up and have a big game. He had a decent season. He had 67 receptions for 828 yards and 5 touchdowns. He needs to come up big.
I agree.
This is his opportunity. And it seems like in the Super Bowl, there's every so often there's that one guy that you don't expect to have a good game or a big game. And this is his chance. The one guy that stands out to me is Deion Branch. When Deion Branch won the MVP, look, New England was stacked, and then he just comes out and just makes the difference.
Yeah.
Tyler Boyd has a chance to do that this week. The defense needs to pressure Matt Stafford into bad throws. Just pressure. Look, you know how Matt used to be in Detroit.
Yeah.
I mean, if you rattle him, he's gonna mess up. He's gonna throw the bad pass. Mm-hmm. This season there was a stretch where he threw interception for a touchdown in 3 straight games.
Well, and to be fair, they shouldn't be here because he threw bad passes in the San Francisco game.
True.
That they dropped. It was 2 of them. They had 2 of them. Yeah. They should have caught, and then LA wouldn't even be here.
Yep.
And so I agree with you on that. Absolutely.
And the last thing is, and this kind of goes along with pressuring Stafford into making bad throws, but you need to make the Rams one-dimensional. Just bottle up the run and make them pass to beat you. And that sounds kind of silly, right? Because then you're saying, well, look what they have. They have Jefferson and Kupp and Higbee and Akers coming out of the backfield and all these weapons. But if I know that all you're going to do is pass, I can set my defense up to beat you. Mm-hmm. Because I'll just drop 8 back and rush 3, and I'll take my chances if I know that all you're going to do is pass.
Yeah.
So if they can have 6, if the Cincinnati defense, which is completely underrated, by the way, if they can stuff the run, make Stafford throw the ball, and force him into unforced error, or force him into errors, unforced, force, I don't care who does. They can win this game. They can totally win this game.
So the line is 4, and I think a lot of people, we were talking pre-show that more of the public has the money on Cincy plus 4, and I don't know that's. I don't personally think that's indicative of people think Cincy's going to win. I think a lot of people think this is going to be a field goal or less game, so I'm going to take the points. Instead of having to pick, I'm going to take the points. And so I agree with you on all those. And kind of my points for the Rams are about the opposite, basically the opposite, which makes sense. But we've said this on almost every game we've done this year, and it's held true every time it's happened. Run the ball. The Rams have Cam Akers. Now, like you mentioned earlier about Tennessee, they saw it in the 4th quarter because Derrick Henry was pounding them. Cam Akers didn't have a good game last week, but the week before when he came back and looked like a stud and ran over people, that hurts more. Now, on top of it, they have to use their home field advantage. They're at home. Yes, I understand it's the Super Bowl. It's a neutral site, but they didn't. Cincinnati's been here for 2 weeks. They have not been home. The Rams have got to go home. Those players get to go home. They get to go to their houses. Cincinnati doesn't. They don't get to go home.
Huge point.
That's going to – that hurts more, not only if you're getting the ball run on you and now you haven't been home in 2 weeks. Instead of the 4th quarter, now you're going to start to see that in the 3rd quarter. So I think that's a big thing. Joe Burrow's been sacked more than – I don't know if it's any quarterback in the year, but it sure as hell seems like it. 63 times.
Well, the Titans put him on his back 9 times.
Yeah, but last week, once I think he went on his back. So they got to get him on his back because that's going to rattle him. He's proved he can do it. Obviously, getting sacked 9 times, but it hurts with the rhythm. And when you're in that big game, it's his 2nd year. I mean, he's phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, he's phenomenal. Maybe a little part of me is jealous that he's there. Josh Allen isn't.
Yeah,
but. He is phenomenal, and I think he can overcome. But in the big, he's always been a star in every big game. But this is the biggest game he's ever played in. get him on his back a lot, especially with Aaron Donald hitting you or Von Miller, who looks like he's 20 again.
Yeah,
like
does.
That's gotta hurt, and that's gonna hurt you. Like you said, they gotta rattle freaking Stafford. Stafford's got to stay poised, and he's got to hit Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Cup got you there. Cup will take you to the promised land. Like, just calm down and get him the freaking ball. Don't make those mistakes. Get OBJ involved. You know, a lot of us said, and I think we even talked about on the show, how he's a play. Like, he went team to team to team because nobody liked him. And I think he kind of found his spot in LA. And they like when he catches the ball and gets sassy for him, which kind of fits in LA. And that team is feeding off it. Now, Cup had the year, but he's not sassy, in your face, cocky like OBJ is. And OBJ catches that, and he's in your face. Shit, OBJ throws a touchdown, he's in your face. Like, they need that edge, and he brought it to him. So I think that was the greatest thing about him. So you need to get him involved to get that edge to your team.
Yep.
And then on defense, Jamar Chase is going to get his. He is. Like, I don't care. You can put your number one and number two. You can put Ramsey and your number two on. He's still going to get his.
It doesn't matter.
Let him get his. Like you said, they need to get Boyd involved. Stop Boyd. Stop Higgins. Stop Uzomah. Get them. Let them beat you with Chase, but don't let anybody else beat you.
Yeah.
And you'll still win.
Yeah, and we talk about that in other sports, right? You talk about, like, in hockey, like McDavid's going to get his to beat the Oilers. You have to stop everybody else, or LeBron's going to get his to beat the Lakers. You got to stop everybody else. I completely agree with you. He's not good. Chase is not going to beat you by himself. He's not. He can't.
Correct.
Go stop Mixon. Go stop Higgins. Go stop Boyd. And you probably have a good chance, because if you stop them and all they can do is throw to Chase, well, now you just drop 2 or 3 on Chase and the game's over.
Yeah. Well, and you're Chase ain't gonna be out there replay.
Nope.
And even with Chase wide open, maybe down the field, you still gotta get it over Von Miller and Aaron Donald in your face. So, like, you can't take 3 players and triple team Jamar Chase so he doesn't get hit. Single team him, let Ramsey get beat. Who cares? And you got to have that talk with Ramsey too. Like, hey, we're putting you on there. We're number one, but it's you and you alone. And if he beats you, we don't care. Don't feel bad.
Yep.
Like, you have.
That's a great point. That's a great point. And yeah, and then if he gives one up, he gives it up, and then you just have to get it back.
Yeah.
So
I agree. So those are our tips for the game. Usually on Super Bowl, usually we do straight bet. We do round robin or a parlay of some sort. We do teaser. We do pleaser. We do prop bets. We do everything. So for the big game, we usually just do a teaser, and then we do a couple prop bets. So we could go through every single bet. When I was looking at my phone, I was trying to find bets, and I just kept scrolling, and they kept coming and coming and coming. Incredible. And on Sunday, I'm going to love it. I'm going to be in them. But for the show, we decided to keep it. It's not going to be the normal hour, I don't think. But we just keep it down, get some flavor in your mouth. We will still be back next week doing futures and everything. And like I said, we're going to keep going with some more baseball and hockey and basketball and stuff. But that's what we're doing. So it's going to look a little different this week when we talk about our bets. But one thing I do want to clarify, somebody asked me, dude, all the time you guys are betting 25 to win 25. Like, so you're making it even. No. When I say I'm betting 30 to make 40, I'm making 40. So when I get my ticket back, I actually get $70.
Yep.
So I guess we haven't been that clear. And, they told me that. And when I explained it, they were like, oh, and that made sense to me that we haven't explained that well. So when you make a bet, you get, and it depends on the site or where you're at or how you're doing it, but you'll see you're betting $20 to make 40 and you'll get back 60.
Yep.
So we don't go the 20 to win 60 where we're only making 40. We tell you how much we're making. And then when we total it up from the previous week, we put it all together.
Yeah, it's like your cost, right? Your cost to make the $40 is $20. So that's why we look at it that way.
Correct.
Yep, for sure.
And then we get it all back. So when I say I'm winning, I'm betting. I'm looking at 110 to win 21. When that ticket cashes, when we win that, we'll actually get $31 back.
Yep.
So we'll get our 10 and the 21 made.
For sure.
So just to clarify that up. All right.
Cool,
So
sounds good.
Let's go with our teaser. I am taking Cincy plus 10, and I'm taking the under 54.5. So what that means is, once again, teaser, you're adding 6 points in your favor, and your odds are less. So the line right now is Cincy plus 4, and over under is 48.5. If it were Cincy plus 3, I would probably take the Rams plus 3, because I'm going to stick with it before. It's a field goal game. I think the Rams have they both have really good shots to come on top, but I'm thinking it's the Rams. So when I tease it, it's only LA plus 2. I want that field goal. So I went the other way and took Cincy plus 10, because I don't think Cincy gets blown out plus 10. And then I think it's under 54.5. I think they're both going to be in the 20s. 27-24 makes it 51. And I'm under. So my 55 is going to win me 50. Both these teams are not putting up ginormous numbers in the playoffs.
Nope.
So when you look at their numbers in the playoffs, it's like, and their numbers head to head, I think we were talking earlier, head to head, granted, it was Joe Schmo and Joe Schmo,
yeah, it was like just garbage.
Yeah,
just garbage.
But it was still under in their last 5 or 6 games. Like, out of the 12 of them together, it was like 10 of them had gone under for both teams. So it's just, and I don't think that's indicative of how bad their offense is playing. I just think these teams were putting up ginormous numbers in the regular season, but they were playing not crappy teams, but regular season it was not. You're when the playoffs, you're playing the top 7 teams. Well, you're one of them, so the top 6 teams you're playing. So you're playing the best of the best, and you're not going to score as much. And being able to score 20 in between that 20 to 30 range is a lot for the playoffs. So I'm sticking under.
Okay, yeah, and you know what? I think that's a good bet. I totally think that's possible. In fact, the way that I bet this, ideally we both win.
Yeah.
I took Cincinnati as well, but I took the over. So I took Cincinnati, teased it up to 10, just like you, and then I took the over and teased it down to 42.5. I think this game ends 27-24, somewhere in that ballpark. I think these teams, like you said, they're not putting up. I mean, the Rams put up 30 against Tampa Bay, and they took like all 30 to win.
Yeah.
But I mean, against Arizona, they called off the dogs at a certain point. San Francisco, they need to put up every single point. They won 20-17, right? Cincinnati puts up 27 to beat Kansas City, 26 against the Raiders, and I think it was 19 against the Tennessee Titans. So, not the offenses aren't burning up the scoreboard, but 27-24. I do see it going over the 42.5. My 55 is going to win me 50 as well. Hopefully we both cash out on this. That would be awesome.
Well, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's pretty much all I had. I mean, like I see this. It's a tough call because the number is the number is at 48.5. That's such a tough call.
It's
like
a perfect number.
If it goes to 49.5, I don't know. I might go under on that one. So. Yeah, that's a tough call, but I'm going to use the strategy to tease it down. And you know me, I like betting overs. So,
and that's exactly what I was to say. We talked about the show. We have tendencies. Everybody has tendencies. And your tendency is to go over because you like rooting for points. Yep. You don't like there to be a ceiling. And I don't like there to be a ceiling either. But it almost, for me, I don't think I have an over-under strategy. Like, as far as, strategies look at the numbers and everything like that, but as far as like tendency, I think I've gone both over and under a lot. I actually hit a big pleaser earlier this year that was unders. But it's more a numbers game for me, but I hate having the over and watching it 10-7 in the third quarter.
It's aggravating. Just get out.
it makes it so hard. Like, it's not like the Bills KC game where that game was over. Now you're just rooting. It was the over in the 10th minute of the fourth quarter. It hit the over, and you're like, okay, now I just want Buffalo to win, which shouldn't happen. But as far as a betting standpoint, it's like you start to get those 10-7 games, and it's like I don't care who scores. Yeah, but I have Cincy, so I need them to score. But then somebody else scores. You're like, okay, if in this case LA scores, you're like, oh, I needed that for the over, but I still need Cincy to win, and you're just dragging. So where it's like I would rather bet the under, especially in a close game like this, and just let it fall where it is.
Yeah, for sure. And plus, the one thing about this game, Kyle, is there's no game next week. Your next game is September, so they're going to leave it all out on the field for sure.
I agree. All right, so that's our teaser. Now we get into our prop bets.
Yeah, these are fun.
Last week our prop bets were really fun. Coin tosses and will there be a nip slip? No, we didn't bet on that, but there were fun stuff like that. Now we're actually getting into stuff that is happening in the game. We're talking about what could happen. So I'll go first.
Okay.
How many players will attempt to pass? Just how many players at all during the game will attempt to pass? Over 2.5 is plus money. It's plus money. It's 30 to win 40. So one of my biggest I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't care if it's $10 to win 2. And remember, I'm actually have a 20 cents at the end because I bet
Trevor Lawrence was the number one
T-Law, number one pick. My $10 won me 20 cents there. I will absolutely 100% of the time, if it's a guarantee, take that big old minus money, and I don't care. But plus money when it's something like that could happen, it just makes it like, really? That's plus money? This is one. How many players will attempt to pass? Over 2.5. So obviously you got Joe Burrow. You got Matt Stafford. Okay.
There's two.
It was Detroit versus, I can't remember who they were playing, but it's a clip you see all the time, all over the place, where Stafford was mic'd up. He throws a touchdown pass, gets injured, comes out, and then because the other team called a timeout, he got to go back in and throw the 2-point conversion hurt for them to win. It was a pass that wasn't a touchdown. He got to go back in for the touchdown pass. Either way, the only reason he got to go back in is because the other team called a timeout. If the other team didn't call a timeout, he would have had to stay out and then the backup. So if either one of them gets hurt for one play and a backup goes in, there's a third person throwing a TD. Now, if it's one play, they're probably going to hand it off.
Yeah.
But if they go out for any significant amount of time, they're going to have to throw the ball.
Great point.
OBJ.
Yeah.
OBJ's attempted passes this year, I think I read was 8.
It's a weapon that McVay can pull out. Just look what the Eagles did a couple of years ago. The Philly special. Nobody was expecting that. I mean, and if you would have bet the same bet in that game, you would have won.
Correct.
Because that's 3 players that are attempting to pass.
He's only at 4, but it feels like a lot more. But I still think that he's going to throw a pass in this. And then on top of that, I really think that Cincinnati's going to go, screw you, OBJ, you can do it. So can we. And they're going to give Jamar Chase throwing or Higgins or somebody else going to throw a pass. So all I need is one of those things to happen, and I'm a winner. My 30 wins me 40, and I collect 70.
No, I like it. That's a really good prop bet. I never thought about how many players will attempt a pass. That's a really good one.
Yeah. I'm happy about that one. What's your first one?
My first one is kind of goes along with your bet on the under. I'm taking total punts over 6.5. My $34 will win me $30. It's 7 punts. It's 3 for one team and 4 for the other. If that happens, I can cash in. Sometimes these games are a little bit of a feeling out process in the beginning. You'll see not a whole lot of scoring in the first period. You'll see a couple of punts go, and if I can get to the end of the first period with 2 or 3 punts, it's looking really good. So I'm hoping that happens. Now, some people would ask, well, why would you bet total punts over 6.5 and then bet the over 42.5? But what I did was, since I teased it down, that allows me to reach the over in fewer possessions. So if more possessions end in punts, then I'm kind of using that to my advantage, and I can win both ways, which would be fantastic. So that's my first prop bet, is the total punts over 6.5. And the Rams, when we get there, that guy Hecker is incredible. So we'll see what happens there. But I mean, it could even happen after a successful drive. You get that ball across midfield and you're too far away from field goal. What are you gonna do? You're gonna go, just kick the pooch punt.
So, a couple of things I like about this, and then first of all, with what you just said, the problem is with McVay. He is a go for it before punted anytime, especially around midfield. So that might hurt a little bit, but this is minus money for you. It's 34 to win 30. So that means Vegas thinks it's going to happen too. So that's and that's maybe another reason I like betting minus money more too, because Vegas even thinks it's going to happen.
Yep.
And these teams haven't played. They played last year, but when they played last year, it wasn't Stafford and it wasn't Burrow.
No.
So like when you're looking at who was playing, it's like they're going to have to feel each other out.
Yeah,
they really
I think so.
So I would agree with you that there's probably going to be 3 or 4 punts in the first quarter.
That would be beautiful.
I really
that'd be awesome. 4 would be great.
Yeah,
But don't you see that this game, like you said, the teams can feel themselves out in the first period. Maybe it ends 3-0. Then the second period, they kind of get their bearings, and you see a little bit more scoring. And then the third is going to roll around. Yeah. I think that's when you're going to see the most points.
Correct. I agree. Coming in adjustments after halftime and stuff.
100%.
I 100% agree. So I would 100% think that you're going to have over half of this in the first half.
Yep, I think so too.
You might even get the whole thing in the first half. The only problem is in the second half, I don't know how many you're getting.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
You might max out at 2.
I might need to get 5 in the first half on that one.
Yeah. So, all right. So next one here, I'll go next.
Okay, ready.
Total interceptions in the game. Over 1.5. Minus money, 30 to win 26. So that means Vegas thinks it's going to happen too. And once again, it's a Super Bowl, so hopefully you guys get it by now. When we say plus and minus money, plus means the underdog, meaning it's not going to happen. And minus is like, hey, we know this is going to happen. So you got to pay more money to win less type thing. Why would I pay $30 to only win 26 of it back? Well, you still get your 30 back, first of all, if it wins. And second of all, it's because it's more likely to happen. When you look at Stafford's performance, we've talked about it. We both like Stafford in Detroit. We both are fans of Stafford.
Oh, yeah.
But he has those games, like you said, he had a stretch of 5 games this year when he threw an interception. Like,
he was a pick 6 machine.
Yeah. So he's probably going to throw a pick. Now you got Joe Burrow who's facing Jalen Ramsey. He's probably going to throw a pick. Like, I would easily say each one of those throws a pick. And if not, we've talked about this many times, somebody can throw a pick. It's inevitable somebody throws a pick. End of the second quarter, end of the fourth quarter, they're trying to drive down the field quick, and that leads to a mistake, and somebody throws a pick. So I'll take my chances on getting 2 picks that way, and I'll take my $26 profit, take my $56 and run away happy.
I love this bet. Especially if Stafford is Stafford. I love this bet.
Well, if he gets hurt and Wolford comes in, then
that's so good. Oh my goodness. All right, my second pick is I'm taking Cincinnati to win by 1 to 13 points. That's plus money. That $10 will win me 21. Look, I don't think anybody's gonna be surprised if Cincinnati wins a close one. They've done it all through. They beat the Raiders by 7. They beat the Titans by 3. They beat the Chiefs by 3. So the history says they're going to win a close game if they win this game. It's not going to be a blowout.
No.
I'm going to take that $10. I'm going to say, you know what? Not only are they going to cover my 10 points on the teaser, but if they win this game, and look, it's 1 to 13. So I have a huge flexibility there. If they kick a field goal at the end and they win 25 to 24, I'm in really good spirits.
Absolutely.
And then if they win by a touchdown or get a backdoor touchdown at the end, cool. They win by 10. I'm still in good shape. So, I think that's a solid bet. it kind of bit me in the butt last year because I had Tampa Bay winning in the same window of points. And then, like, I don't know what happened last year. I mean, they just dominated. But if Cincinnati wins, I don't think they dominate. I think it's close.
I don't think anybody dominates this game. We've already talked about it. I think it's going to be a field goal game. So Cincinnati won by 13. That's definitely not improbable. You could take the same bet on the Rams, but I don't think it's as high plus money.
Nope.
And you'd have about the same amount of chance. I would not put nobody's going to dominate. Last year when you talk about, it was Tampa Bay. Yeah, it was Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
But it was Brady. And you got Brady, you got Bruce Arians. You just got too much. And I love Andy Reid. I love Andy Reid.
Mm-hmm.
But you just got too much experience on the Tampa Bay side. Yeah. And they were all healthy. And I didn't think it was going to be that much of a blowout, but it's not surprising from Brady, right? I don't think either one of these teams has that capability.
No,
I don't.
I don't think so either.
And
neither does Vegas, man.
No, absolutely not. So I'm going to go along with that on my next prop bet. And my next prop bet is going to be that the score is tied at halftime.
I love it.
Tied at halftime. Now, the biggest reason I took this is because of the plus money. This is kind of my Hail Mary for the week. My $20 is going to win me $170. So I'm going to walk away with $190, almost cover every bet that I made this for the Super Bowl if this hits, and I'm good to go. Now, I think it goes along with everything we've been saying. They're going to feel each other out. There's going to be about 4 punts in the first half. And it's going to be field goal, touchdown, 10-10, maybe. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Or maybe it goes touchdown, field goal, touchdown. Some where it ends up like 10-10, or maybe even 6-6 with 2 field goals each.
Yeah.
And then I think it opens up in the second half. But I think it's going to go tit for tat. We talked about if the Rams win, for the Rams to win, they got to get out quick and stay on top quick.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't necessarily think that's going to happen when they're filling each other out. So, and even if it does, I think the Bengals will still keep it close in the first half. Second half is where it'll open up. So.
I completely agree with you. My concern is if the Rams get out ahead, because like you said, like we've talked about, though, I think the way that the Rams, the best way for them to win is to run away with this in the first half and then just hold on for dear life. That's how I think they win this game. And so, or that's going to be their best strategy to win this game. But these are two teams that haven't played each other. It's not like it's the Rams playing the Chiefs or the Rams playing the Patriots or the Rams playing the Buccaneers, right? These teams that play each other all the time. These teams have played 4 times in the last 15 years. Yeah. They're definitely going to feel themselves out. I totally see this game being close at halftime.
Well,
I'd love for it to be tied.
Well, plus you got 2 coaches that one work for the other.
Yeah, for sure.
So they know each other. So there's going to be a little bit of that going in there too.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one to see if it happens. I hope it does. My next one is that there's going to be a score in the first 6 minutes of the game. Now this is even money, $15 to win 15 back, plus my $15 investment. And this was just one of those things where I think they're going to feel each other out. Yeah, I'm probably going to see a lot of punts. This is probably going to be a long field goal that breaks the ice here. 6 minutes is a long time. So I totally see this happening. And the cool thing about this bet is it's low risk. It's money. It's a basically even money. So, why not?
6 minutes is too quick for me, especially when we talked about the keys of the game being running the ball.
Yeah.
That worries me because you run it. Even if you get 2 or 3 first downs, you're killing clock, and then you're punting, and then you're killing clock.
That's true.
So that worries me a little bit, which is why I think you got it at even money. It's not a bad bet by any means because, like we said, if the Rams win the coin toss and they start off with the ball, well, they'll probably defer. But once they get the ball, they're going to try to get out ahead early. So it's not a bad bet. Score quick, score early, and get their hopes down quick. So I like the thought process. It's just when I think more into it of running the ball, like, I don't know. It's a little too scary for 6. Maybe I would have went 10. I'm sure that was minus money. Because that's giving me a quarter to get a field goal, almost a full quarter. So at 6 minutes, you're less than a half a quarter, and who knows? I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah. All right, my next one kind of goes back to the other one I had, where it was total interceptions in the game over 1.5. I got Burrow and Stafford both throw an interception. Both of those hit. This is for $66. By $30 went to $66. So when I go back to total interceptions, I get 56 back, my 30 plus my 26. And then this one gives me 96 back, my 30 and my 66. That's 100, over $150. Like, for both of them throwing an INT. And once again, that goes back to Matt Stafford can be Pat Stafford. And then you got Joe Burrow getting sacked, trying to avoid a sack. Now, he has been pretty good about protecting the ball when he's been getting sacked. But it's a Super Bowl. He might try to make something happen. He's getting sacked by Down. Tries to do almost what Jimmy G did last week.
I was just going to say that.
2 weeks ago, and that happens. Or he tries to throw a freaking Hail Mary or something like that. And all of a sudden, I got this. So
I was just going to mention Garoppolo because I don't think he threw an interception until that last one.
He didn't, because I had the same bet for him. And I was like, damn it, until that last play.
I'm like, holy smoke, he finally got it. Yeah, I love this bet. I just love the fact that, and it's a Hail Mary at the end of the period or the end of the half, or it's a, oh my gosh, I'm trying to avoid and make something good happen. And well, whoops, I threw an interception. Also, it could be 3rd and 36 and I'm just going to throw the ball deep and see what happens. And, it's just like a punt, So, and I don't think anybody cares about, nobody's going to care about stats as long as you win the game. Nobody's going to care. So, yeah, I love this bet. I really do. I think I might jump on that too and piggyback on it. My next one, I have Matt Stafford, his passing yards being in the range of 276 to 300. It's $10 win 50. It's mainly for the plus money on this one. Last game, Matt Stafford threw for 337. The game before that, he threw 366. The game before that, he threw for 202.
I was against Bucks, though.
Yeah. Well, and I think the 49er defense is probably a little bit better than Cincinnati's, and he got 337 out of it. But a lot of that was in the second half when he's playing from behind. So, I just really like the plus money on this. I'm not going to lie to you on that. And I'm interested to see how Matt Stafford plays in the big game. That's what it is for me. He's not really known for playing in the big games. I mean, he's had a great postseason run this year. He's got 3 wins. Before that, he was 0-3 with the Lions. But it's the Super Bowl. It's the Super Bowl. I think he's going to be a little bit off at first, and then he might come on strong after that. But I really like the plus money on this Cows. I don't know why. I really liked it.
I'll tell you what. I like this bet. And I'll tell you why. Cooper Kupp's going to get over 100. Easy. He's Cooper Kupp. He's going to get his. He's going to get it over 100. OBJ just had over 100 yards last week.
Okay, so that's 2.
So there's 200. So you need 76 yards from
Akers,
Jefferson,
Higbee,
Sony Michel. Like 75 yards, I think he can do it, and I think that can happen. So I really like that bet, and with that plus money, absolutely, I like it a lot.
I would have liked it a lot better if it was that plus money and it was 276 or greater.
Yeah.
The 300 ceiling is kind of tough.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think that's what you have to give in this case to get that plus money.
Correct. Well, yeah, I don't know. That you're right. The ceiling does make it hard.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree. But I still think that the other two get 200, and you might struggle to get that 76, but I think you will.
Yeah, for sure.
So with the other one, so I like it.
All right. What do you
My
got
next one, I'm going Akers and Mixon, each score a touchdown, 20 to win 70. Once again, good plus money. I like that a lot. This is a case where you got two strong running backs that like to score, and I think they're each going to get one. I think their team's going to give them one. Once again, this comes. I'm not saying either one of these guys is going to pop off and hit a 50-yard touchdown run. I am saying they're going to be on the 2-yard line.
Yeah, 1 or 2 yards.
And run it in and get a touchdown. So I'm going to take that plus money and run with it.
Yeah, for sure. I love this bet. I think Mixon is a lock to get a TD.
Mm-hmm.
Akers, you get down to the 1-yard line, you just give the ball to Akers. Why not?
The only reason I worry about it is they could go Sonny Michel on it.
No, that's true. That's true. But I like the fact I like Akers on this one. I think that's a good pull.
I agree.
My next one is that there will be a roughing the passer penalty in the game. That $10 will win me 14. I think just right now, these penalties are just junk. Like come on. The roughing the pass. I think Carr took one in the game against the Bengals, and I was just look, it was against Carr, but I'm sitting there looking at it going, what is this being called? We're protecting these guys way too much. If you want to keep doing that, make it a 2-hand touch game. You know it's bound to happen. I think that there's going to be, and it just has to be one. Just has to be one. So somebody has to just get a little over aggressive, and there it is. So
I agree. Well, and Burrow's going to get hit. He's going to get hit a lot.
Yep.
And I really think one of those is going to be rough.
I do too.
I like that a lot. Not big plus money, but it is plus money.
Yep.
So I do like that a lot.
All right. What's next for you?
My last one is I'm going the exact.
Love it. Let's see what you got.
I got 27-24 on the Rams side.
Okay. I like that because we both win our teaser
Correct.
bets.
The only one you would lose is the Cincinnati wins 1-13.
That's okay.
$10 would be 670. Look, I never even thought about this bet until I saw somebody a couple weeks ago hit $10 to win like $100,000 or something crazy like that, betting the exact score. I go, why not give it a chance? So $10 to win 670. That's a sneaking Lily. I'm gonna try it. Once again, we've said field goal game, and there's a field goal game right there. So I'm gonna take it. That gives me every hit. Gives you every hit, so I'm good with it.
I really like this score. Because it's that field goal at the end of the game. It's a game at 27-24, not super high scoring like the Bills and the Chiefs. So a kind of a feeling out process in the beginning, kind of pours on at the end, still gives us the opportunity for a tie score at halftime. And it's, I don't know, man. I think this is really realistic. I think that if I was to predict a score, I would say 27-24 for sure.
And I'm double checking, but I believe, I want to say that this is the score of the Cincinnati Green Bay game when they went back to back missing field goals.
I think you're right.
Way back, let me see. It was 25-22.
Well,
so
it's
close.
In the ballpark. It is
in the ballpark when they went field goals at the end there, and we're switching back and forth, missing field goals and stuff like that. I was in Vegas playing poker watching that game, but I feel like it's going to be something like that. We're going to be back and forth field goals at the end.
Plus, I'll take my chances that if that happens, you might give me my $10 back. My last one is that this goes along with my kind of like my points for Cincinnati to win the game. I got Tyler Boyd scoring a touchdown in the first half, $10 to win 55. Look, he's just got he has to be a difference maker. He just has to. If they put Higgins over here and cover him, and they cover up Chase, and look, it's your opportunity. And if I was Zach Taylor, that's what I'd be telling him. I'd be like, this is your game to shine.
Yeah.
And you need to go make it happen. This guy could, and he's 27, 28 years old. This game could be the game that defines his career. So I really like this for the plus money. It's a small investment, small bet, but it's the plus money that's going to pay off. But it also aligns with what I think is going to happen, what I think Cincinnati needs to do more than anything.
I agree with you on everything. Like I I like what you're saying. And the only thing I don't agree with you on is that it's going to define his. You said earlier, Deion Branch.
Yeah.
Deion Branch was MVP. He wasn't an MVP player his whole career.
That's true.
He had good, so that might happen for Tyler Boyd, but if he wants his career to go better than that, he definitely needs to shine here. Maybe this is going to be his chance.
Maybe I'm pumping his tires a little bit, right? Because I want them to win. I don't think we've actually talked about we've done our Final Four and things like that. And I didn't have Cincinnati in my Final Four. I didn't even have the Rams in my Final Four. But I don't think either one of us have talked about a specific side. Yeah, I think we're both betting Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. But I think I'm going to lean toward the Bengals to win this game, and I think I'm going to be pulling for them. I hope they do it.
I think we haven't really talked about it because I know you have your reasons to bet against LA. Living here, and I get it. Messing with your football TV. I really don't care. I will admit, just that much, and literally that much, a little jealous that Burrow's there before Allen's there.
Yeah.
And it's not a huge deal. I'm not I hate him because he beat out. There is a little teeny part of it, but it's not. It's not anything to make. Really, I'll be honest with you. I think I'm really pulling for Stafford here.
Okay.
I'm not an OBJ fan.
No.
I am. I like Donald. I like Miller. But I'm really pulling for Stafford.
I think that's a great call because I think we talked about this. I don't find this team likable in the least. No. I don't like Ramsey. No. I think he was a dick getting out of Jacksonville the way he did it. Uh-huh. I don't like OBJ. Cooper Kupp, I can live with that. That's fine. Cam Akers seemed like a nice guy. Von Miller, probably a nice guy. But as a whole, I just don't find this team very likable.
Well, remember it was Stop Hate on the back of Donald's helmet when he's punching him in the face.
Yeah, it's what are you talking about? But you make a good point about Stafford. Stafford was that guy, number one pick, plays in Detroit, can't do anything. They don't do many favors.
No.
Everybody's
coming to he had Megatron. Okay,
so and two guys?
Yeah. He had to he came out and he did it right. He never did the breeze. I'm not playing here, or I'm going here or whoever. I'm not. He did it right. He came out, he said, screw it, I'm going to Detroit. That's where I got drafted. That's where I'm gonna play. I'm gonna make it happen. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna do some shit. And he didn't make it happen, but he played for a horrible organization.
And then when he got traded, he was like, okay, well, yeah, sure. Why not? Okay. Mm-hmm. I don't remember him. I don't remember him asking for a trade.
No.
And when it happened, all right, sweet. I'll do it.
Well, and I think, okay, in the gut, hey, you want to leave Detroit to go to LA?
Well, that's a good point.
Who's really going to turn that down?
No, it's good point. Good point.
But, I think if anything, he might have paused for a second and go, this finally happened to me, because the Rams shelled out a lot for him.
Oh yeah. They don't have any first round picks for the next 4 years.
Correct. And that wasn't just for him. I don't think all four of those. I think it was
not
two
all.
of those.
You're right.
But he might have been a little. This is what should have happened to me when I came out of college. I was a first round pick. They should have spent a boatload to make this team better, and they're not. Yep. Now somebody's doing it, and I'm going to make it happen. So you suffered in Detroit for a dozen of your career. You could have died there.
Yeah, for sure.
And you would have went down as this great stat quarterback, but no win.
Mm-hmm.
Great start. You can't win the playoffs. You can't I think he was better than that. I don't think, there's a lot of first round picks that come out are a bust.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was, I don't like Baker Mayfield, but think about who he would have been in somebody else's mm-hmm. organization with the Browns. It's just, and Trubisky, think about who he could have been without Cleveland. Chicago. I don't think it was Chicago's fault more as having Nagy there, but I think he could have been a better quarterback than he was with the organization. A lot has to do with the organization. Even now with Kyler Murray, I don't like Arizona, but I think Kyler Murray has better potential than Cliff Kingsbury is going to allow him to get. So
Could be.
A lot of it is where I'm looking at Stafford. Go, you finally got your day in the sun. They ain't going to have another day in the sun. They don't have first round picks. They don't. This is it.
Mm-hmm.
So let that first round pick come out, get his name in the sun. You paid your dues in Detroit. Get it now. Burrow's going to get there again. Cincinnati's going to get there again. Like it's going to happen. And I hate to say that because it's in the AFC versus Buffalo versus the Raiders. But Burrow, Chase, that connection is too damn good. And you can give a lot of those players are locked up for a couple of years. Like I think it's going to happen for them again. More likely than the Rams.
Yeah, but Dan Marino made the Super Bowl in his second year and never made it back.
That's true.
So,
that is true.
There's no guarantees. But I like your reasoning behind pulling for Stafford. I like that a lot. I hope he doesn't screw over my bets. But if he gets it, I won't be sad.
Yeah. And that's kind of where, like, if Cincinnati gets it, I'm not going to be upset, and I'm not going to be like, this is stupid. Cool. I like Cincy. I like the way they play. I'm a fan of them. I'm a fan of Burrow. I'm a fan of Chase. But I like Burrow's swag. But I just want Stafford to have his day in the sun. Let Burrow get his later.
That would be cool. Okay, I can get along with that.
All right, then that concludes our Super Bowl weekend of the BSB. I hope you have a great weekend, Tony. I hope you have a great weekend.
I hope you have a good weekend, Cal.
It's going to be great being here.
Yeah, buddy.
I hope we all take down Vegas.
Yes, please.
Once again, I do so much betting during the Super Bowl. I'll try to put some up on Twitter. I don't know if I'll have time, but I will try. But please contact us, email us, Facebook, Twitter, text us if you have a number, call it, whatever. We love talking. We love helping. We'll give you any tips we can. We'll talk about what we like, what we don't like. We'll tell you, I have people say, hey, what do you think about this? I'll tell you. Now, if you don't want my honest opinion, don't ask because you're going to get it. But please let us know, and we'll talk. We love talking about it. We love talking betting, beer, money.
I love all those things. You know this.
As a reminder, this is purely for entertainment purposes, and we do not guarantee anything that we do.
That's right.
So have a great weekend. Have a great Super Bowl, everybody.
All right. Enjoy the game. Bye-bye, everybody.
BS.
Love you, brother.